Have you ever opened your fridge, poured yourself a glass of milk, and thought, I'm doing something good for my bones? For decades, we've been told milk is the ultimate health food, the secret to strong bones, a sharp mind, and lasting energy. But here's the shocking truth. After 60, the wrong type of milk can do the opposite. Clinical research suggests that certain common milks, the ones many seniors drink daily, may quietly increase inflammation, worsen joint pain, spike blood sugar, and even contribute to brain fog. In fact, some studies have linked certain milk patterns with higher fracture risk and increased inflammatory markers in older adults. But here's the twist. Not all milk is harmful. In fact, 4 specific types of milk, when chosen correctly, can support bone density, improve digestion, and help calm inflammation. So today, we're revealing the 4 worst milks seniors should avoid, and then the 4 best milks you can choose to support stronger bones, steadier energy, and a sharper mind. And stay to the end because the #1 best milk is rarely talked about, yet it's been associated in studies with better digestion, improved nutrient absorption, and healthier aging markers in older adults. This is It's Better Health, where we uncover science-backed strategies to help you live stronger, longer. If that sounds helpful, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Now let's begin, starting with the 4 milks you should never touch after 60. At first glance, almond milk sounds like one of the healthiest swaps you can make. It's dairy-free, it's light, it's often marketed as heart-healthy and gentle on digestion. And for seniors trying to reduce inflammation, it feels like a smart upgrade. But here's the hidden danger: sweetened almond milk. Many cartons on grocery shelves are loaded with added sugars, cane sugar, fructose, brown rice syrup, or other sweeteners added to improve taste. And that turns what could be a healthy alternative into a blood sugar trigger. After age 60, insulin sensitivity naturally declines. That means sugary drinks, even ones labeled plant-based or healthy, hit harder. Blood sugar rises faster, energy crashes come sooner, and inflammation increases more easily. Some observational studies suggest that regular intake of sugar-sweetened beverages is associated with higher rates of insulin resistance, abdominal weight gain, and metabolic dysfunction in older adults. And here's the second issue most people miss. Most commercial almond milks contain very little actual almond, often 2% or less. The rest is filtered water, stabilizers, gums, emulsifiers, and flavorings. That means you're not getting meaningful amounts of magnesium, vitamin E, or the healthy fats found in real almonds. Instead, you're drinking a processed liquid that may do very little for your bones, muscles, or memory. And that's why sweetened almond milk is so deceptive. It looks clean, it sounds healthy, it tastes mild. But in seniors, it can quietly contribute to joint stiffness, blood sugar instability, belly fat gain, energy crashes. Now, here's the important distinction. Unsweetened, calcium-fortified almond milk can be a smart option. But sweetened versions, they belong on the avoid list. If you choose almond milk, always look for unsweetened, clearly labeled, no added sugars, fortified with calcium and vitamin D, minimal ingredient list. The difference between sweetened and unsweetened may seem small, but over months and years, it becomes significant. And after 60, small daily choices compound fast. Now let's move to a milk that has exploded in popularity, but hides a completely different risk for aging bones. Worst milk #3, unfortified oat milk. Walk into any coffee shop today and you'll see oat milk everywhere. It's trendy, it's creamy, it's marketed as heart-healthy and easy on digestion. And for many seniors trying to move away from dairy, it feels like a modern, safe alternative. But here's what most people over 60 don't realize. Unfortified oat milk can quietly weaken your bones over time. Here's why. Unlike fortified varieties, many oat milks contain little to no calcium and very little vitamin D, 2 nutrients that become absolutely critical after 60. As we age, bone breakdown accelerates, calcium absorption decreases, vitamin D levels drop. If the milk you drink daily doesn't provide these nutrients, you're essentially consuming empty calories instead of bone support. Some clinical nutrition studies have shown that inadequate calcium and vitamin D intake in older adults is strongly associated with faster bone density decline and higher fracture risk. And here's the second issue: carbohydrate load. Oats are naturally higher in carbohydrates than almonds or dairy milk. During processing, those carbohydrates break down into simpler sugars. This means oat milk can raise blood sugar more quickly than many people expect. For seniors whose insulin sensitivity is already reduced, repeated blood sugar spikes can lead to fatigue, increased abdominal fat, muscle loss, greater diabetes risk. Now let's talk about something rarely mentioned: phytic acid. Oats naturally contain phytic acid, a compound sometimes called an anti-nutrient. It can bind to minerals like calcium and magnesium and reduce their absorption. For a younger person with strong digestion, this may not matter much. But for someone over 60, already struggling to preserve bone mass and muscle strength, mineral absorption becomes crucial. And there's one more factor. Many commercial oat milks contain added oils, gums, and stabilizers to create that smooth, creamy texture. For seniors with slower digestion, reflux, or sensitive guts, these additives can worsen bloating and discomfort. Now, here's the key distinction: fortified, unsweetened oat milk can be acceptable. If you choose oat milk, look for at least 20–30% daily value of calcium, added vitamin D, unsweetened, minimal additives. Otherwise, unfortified oat milk may quietly contribute to nutrient gaps instead of preventing them. It may look modern and healthy, but without fortification, it can slowly drain the very minerals your bones depend on. Now let's move to a milk that sounds helpful for digestion, but can become a metabolic trap if you're not careful. Worst milk. 2. Flavored lactose-free milk. On the surface, lactose-free milk sounds like a lifesaver. Many adults over 60 develop some degree of lactose intolerance. Bloating, cramping, gas. These symptoms become more common with age. So lactose-free milk seems like the perfect solution. And plain unsweetened lactose-free milk can absolutely be a reasonable option. But here's the hidden danger. Flavored lactose-free milk, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, often turns into a sugar delivery system. To improve taste, manufacturers frequently add significant amounts of sugar, syrups, artificial flavors, stabilizers, and emulsifiers. For an older adult, this matters more than most people realize. After 60, the body's ability to regulate blood sugar weakens, insulin response slows, muscle mass, which helps buffer glucose, declines. When you drink a sweetened dairy beverage, blood sugar rises quickly, then insulin surges, then energy crashes. Over time, repeated spikes are associated with increased belly fat, higher fasting insulin levels, greater risk of type 2 diabetes, increased inflammatory stress. And here's something many people overlook. Some flavored lactose-free milks contain artificial sweeteners like sucralose or stabilizers such as carrageenan. In sensitive individuals, these ingredients have been associated in some research with gut microbiome disruption, digestive irritation, increased inflammatory responses. For seniors already dealing with joint stiffness or digestive fragility, this can quietly worsen symptoms. There's also the texture issue. That creamy consistency often comes from added oils or synthetic emulsifiers. These may interfere with fat metabolism and contribute to low-grade inflammation when consumed regularly. So, what's the smarter move? If you need lactose-free milk, choose plain unsweetened varieties. Avoid flavored versions. Skip added sugars and artificial sweeteners. Check ingredient lists carefully if you want sweetness. Add it naturally. Fresh berries, a small sprinkle of cinnamon, a few chia seeds. The difference may seem small, but drinking flavored milk daily versus plain milk can significantly change your metabolic load over months and years. Flavored lactose-free milk promises comfort, but in many cases, it delivers sugar spikes and inflammation instead. Now we're coming to the most controversial one on this list. It's the milk many seniors grew up drinking, the one sitting in millions of refrigerators right now. And after 60, it may be the most important one to reconsider. Worst milk number one, ultra-pasteurized conventional A1 cow's milk. This is the milk many seniors grew up on. It's familiar, it's comforting, and for decades it was considered the gold standard for strong bones. But after 60, ultra-pasteurized conventional A1 cow's milk may not be the ideal daily choice for everyone. Let's break it down carefully. 1. The protein difference. Most conventional cow's milk in North America contains A1 beta-casein. Some research suggests that during digestion, A1 beta-casein may produce a peptide called BCM7, which has been associated in certain studies with digestive discomfort, increased inflammatory markers in sensitive individuals, slower gut transit. Not everyone reacts to A1 protein, but some older adults report bloating, heaviness, joint discomfort, or brain fog that improves after switching away from conventional milk. Small clinical trials have shown that certain individuals experience fewer digestive symptoms when consuming milk containing only A2 beta-casein instead of A1. 2. Ultra-pasteurization. Ultra-pasteurization heats milk to very high temperatures for longer shelf life. While this process improves safety and storage stability, it can denature some proteins, alter taste and texture, potentially reduce certain heat-sensitive compounds. For seniors with reduced stomach acid or slower digestion, heavily processed dairy can sometimes feel harder to digest. That doesn't mean ultra-pasteurized milk is unsafe, but for sensitive individuals, less processed options may feel gentler. 3. Processing and sourcing concerns. Conventional milk production may involve grain-fed cows, antibiotic use, regulated but present in industry, highly industrial processing. Residue levels are monitored and regulated, but some people prefer minimally processed, grass-fed, or organic options to reduce exposure and improve fatty acid profile. What some studies suggest. Some observational studies have associated high intake of certain dairy patterns with increased inflammatory markers in subgroups, higher fracture risk in some populations. However, it's important to note that dairy research is mixed and context-dependent. Not all studies agree, and many show neutral or even protective effects depending on overall diet and lifestyle. The bottom line, for some seniors, especially those experiencing chronic bloating, joint stiffness, digestive discomfort, persistent inflammation, switching away from ultra-pasteurized A1 milk may improve how they feel, and that's why it earns the #1 spot on the reconsider list. But here's the good news. Milk itself is not the enemy. When chosen wisely, certain types of milk can actually support bone density, muscle strength, gut health, brain function. Now it's time to flip the script. Let's move into the 4 best milks for seniors, starting with one that's been around for centuries, but is finally gaining renewed respect. Best milk. Number 4, goat milk. Goat milk may not be the first thing in your refrigerator. In fact, many seniors overlook it completely. But after 60, goat milk can be one of the most digestible and nutrient-supportive dairy options available. Here's why. 1. Easier to digest protein profile. Unlike most conventional cow's milk, goat milk contains predominantly A2-type beta-casein protein. For some individuals, A2 protein appears to be easier to digest and less likely to cause gastrointestinal discomfort compared to A1 protein. Several small clinical studies suggest that people who experience bloating or digestive heaviness with regular cow's milk often report fewer symptoms with A2-type dairy, including goat milk. For seniors with sensitive digestion, that difference matters. 2. Smaller fat globules. Goat milk naturally contains smaller fat globules and a different fatty acid structure than cow's milk. This may allow it to digest more quickly, feel lighter in the stomach, improve tolerance in people with mild dairy sensitivity. It also contains medium-chain fatty acids, which are metabolized more rapidly and may provide quicker energy support, helpful as metabolism slows with age. 3. Mineral density and bone support. Goat milk is rich in calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, all essential for maintaining bone density and preventing age-related bone loss. It also contains bioavailable selenium, a trace mineral involved in thyroid regulation, immune function, antioxidant defense. Many older adults are mildly deficient in selenium, which can contribute to fatigue and slower recovery. 4. Gut support. Because goat milk forms a softer curd in the stomach compared to cow's milk, it may be gentler on aging digestive systems. Some seniors report less bloating, reduced reflux, improved tolerance. How to choose it. If you're considering goat milk, choose pasteurized, not ultra-pasteurized when possible. Avoid flavored or sweetened varieties. Opt for full fat if weight management allows, since fat helps absorb fat-soluble vitamins. You can drink it warm before bed, use it in oatmeal, add it to smoothies, substitute it 1.1 in most recipes. Goat milk isn't trendy. But for seniors with digestive sensitivity or joint discomfort, it can be a practical, nutrient-dense alternative that supports bone and gut health. Now let's move to a plant-based option that, when chosen correctly, becomes far more than just a dairy substitute. Best milk. Number 3. Unsweetened, calcium-fortified almond milk. Almond milk often gets lumped into the trendy plant milk category. But when chosen correctly, unsweetened and calcium-fortified, it can be one of the smartest daily swaps for adults over 60. Here's why. 1. Low sugar, stable blood sugar. Unlike dairy milk, almond milk contains no lactose, very little natural sugar, minimal carbohydrates. For seniors managing prediabetes, insulin resistance, or abdominal weight gain, this matters. Lower carbohydrate intake can help reduce blood sugar spikes and support more stable energy levels throughout the day. And after 60, stability becomes more important than intensity. 2. Anti-inflammatory profile. Almond milk contains no casein and no lactose, two components that some older adults may find irritating. While not everyone reacts to dairy proteins, individuals who experience joint stiffness or digestive discomfort sometimes report symptom improvement when switching to plant-based alternatives. In addition, almonds naturally contain vitamin E, a fat-soluble antioxidant that helps combat oxidative stress, a contributor to aging-related tissue damage. Higher vitamin E intake has been associated in observational studies with better long-term cognitive health. 3. Bone support, when fortified. This is the key point. Almond milk on its own does not naturally contain high calcium levels, but when fortified properly, it can provide 20–30% daily calcium per serving. Added vitamin D, sometimes added magnesium. Calcium strengthens bone structure. Vitamin D improves calcium absorption. Magnesium supports muscle contraction and nerve signaling. Together, these nutrients help maintain balance, reduce cramping, and support skeletal integrity. For seniors at risk of osteoporosis, fortified almond milk can meaningfully contribute to daily mineral intake, especially for those reducing dairy. 4. Weight and digestive support. Because almond milk is typically lower in calories than whole dairy milk, it may support weight management, reduce bloating, lighter digestion. This can be helpful for seniors with slower gastric emptying or reflux sensitivity. What to look for. Not all almond milk qualifies. Choose unsweetened, clearly labeled, calcium fortified, vitamin D added, minimal ingredient list, no added oils if possible. Avoid sweetened varieties, vanilla or flavored versions with added sugar, long additive heavy ingredient lists. How to use it. Add to smoothies with berries and flaxseed. Pour over steel-cut oats. Use in chia pudding. Drink chilled as a low-sugar alternative to juice. When chosen correctly, almond milk isn't just a substitute. It's a functional tool for supporting bone strength, blood sugar stability, and inflammation control. Now let's move to something even more powerful. Not just milk, but living milk. Best milk. Number 2, kefir. If there's one milk-based drink that truly stands out for seniors, it's kefir. At first glance, kefir looks like drinkable yogurt, but nutritionally, it's far more powerful. Kefir is a fermented milk rich in live cultures, often containing 20 to 30 strains of beneficial bacteria and yeast, far more diverse than most standard yogurts, and after 60, gut health becomes central to everything. 1. Gut health. Whole body health. As we age, digestive enzyme production declines, stomach acid decreases, nutrient absorption weakens, immune resilience drops. Kefir directly targets these changes. Its probiotics help improve digestion, enhance nutrient absorption, support immune function, reduce low-grade inflammation. Some clinical studies suggest that regular fermented dairy intake is associated with improved gut microbiome diversity, which is linked to better metabolic and immune outcomes in older adults. 2. Bone and mineral support. Kefir contains calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, high-quality protein. But what makes kefir unique is its potential content of vitamin K2, depending on fermentation method. Vitamin K2 plays a crucial role in directing calcium into bones and away from arteries. This becomes increasingly important after menopause and into older age, when bone loss accelerates and vascular calcification risk rises. Some studies in postmenopausal women have shown improved bone markers and slower bone density decline when fermented dairy was included regularly. 3. Balance and muscle coordination. Emerging research suggests that gut microbiome health may influence muscle coordination, balance, inflammation, neurological function. While more research is ongoing, maintaining gut diversity appears to correlate with better functional aging outcomes. For seniors, that means potential support in reducing fall risk, one of the most serious health threats after 65. 4. Lactose content. Because kefir is fermented, much of the lactose is broken down by bacteria. Many individuals who struggle with regular milk tolerate kefir far better. How to choose it for maximum benefit. Choose plain, unsweetened kefir. Look for live active cultures on the label. Avoid flavored or sugar-added versions. Prefer whole milk kefir if weight allows, better vitamin absorption. How to use it. Drink a small glass with meals. Blend into smoothies with berries. Mix with chia seeds. Pour over oats. Kefir isn't just milk. It's a probiotic delivery system that supports bones, digestion, immunity, and possibly even brain health. And now, we're at number 1. The milk that looks ordinary, but may feel completely different in the body. At first glance, A2 whole milk looks exactly like regular milk. Same color, same texture, same taste. But internally, there's one crucial difference: the type of protein it contains. Most conventional cow's milk contains A1 beta-casein. A2 milk comes from cows that naturally produce only A2 beta-casein. Why does that matter after 60? Because some research suggests that A1 protein, when digested, may release a peptide called BCM7 in certain individuals. This compound has been studied for potential links to digestive discomfort and inflammatory responses in sensitive people. Not everyone reacts to A1 milk, but some older adults report less bloating, reduced joint discomfort, clearer thinking, better digestion after switching to A2 milk. What the research suggests, small randomized controlled trials have shown that participants consuming A2-only milk experienced fewer gastrointestinal symptoms, reduced digestive inflammation markers, improved subjective comfort. In older adults, digestive efficiency becomes critical. If nutrients aren't absorbed properly, bones weaken, muscles decline, and energy drops. A2 milk preserves the full nutrient profile of whole milk, including high-quality protein, calcium, vitamin B12, iodine, naturally occurring fats that aid vitamin absorption, but without the A1 protein component. Why whole milk? After 60, full-fat dairy may actually be beneficial for many individuals, depending on overall health profile. Fat helps absorb vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin A, and healthy fats support hormone balance and satiety. Recent large-scale observational studies have not consistently shown higher cardiovascular risk from moderate full-fat dairy consumption in older adults. Context matters, diet quality, activity level, and metabolic health all play a role. What to look for. If choosing A2 milk, select full fat if appropriate for your health profile. Avoid flavored varieties. Avoid heavily sweetened versions. Choose minimally processed when possible. How to use it. Warm before bed for relaxation. Add to steel-cut oats. Blend with low glycemic berries. Use in protein-rich smoothies. For seniors who tolerate dairy but struggle with conventional milk, A2 can be a powerful upgrade, offering full nutrition with potentially better digestive comfort. And now let's bring it all together. By now, you can see the truth. Milk isn't just milk. After 60, the type you choose can either support your bones, digestion, and brain, or quietly work against them. The wrong choices, like sweetened plant milks, flavored lactose-free options, unfortified alternatives, or heavily processed conventional milk, can contribute to blood sugar instability, digestive discomfort, mineral gaps, low-grade inflammation. But the right choices, goat milk, unsweetened fortified almond milk, kefir, and A2 whole milk, can support bone density, muscle maintenance, gut health, cognitive clarity, steadier energy. The difference isn't dramatic in one day, it's cumulative. Every glass you drink is either reinforcing strength or slowly eroding it. That's why small daily decisions matter more after 60 than ever before. So here's your next step. Open your refrigerator. Look at what's inside. Ask yourself honestly, is this milk helping me age stronger? Or just following a habit I've never questioned? Because when you switch to a better option, you're not just changing what you drink. You're protecting your mobility, your independence, your clarity, your future. And sometimes that protection starts with something as simple as a glass of milk. If this helped you, share it with someone over 60. Small changes become powerful when passed on.